Welcome back, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're here with Tristan. Jeez.
Hey guys, what's up?
How you doing, bro? You good?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Just
Bro,
chilling.
Okay, like it's been you say the same thing as him, bro.
Mine, yeah.
Bro.
Just chilling, bro. I'm just chilling today.
They're both so French, bro. You both say it.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
crazy.
that's the reason, bro.
Yeah, maybe.
He says it all the time. He goes like, "I'm just chilling, bro. I'm just chilling," and he does this.
Nice way to say it.
He does this.
This is like surface. You know what I mean?
Literally, bro. I started doing this as a joke kind of thing, and then people would do it. And bro, I would love my ass off this shit, and so I just started doing it because people would do
He
it.
always does it. He always goes like.
Where do you come from in France?
Outside of Paris,
Okay, so
actually
you're
same
not a
villages.
surfer.
No. But I've surfed
Yeah.
before. Yeah. In
Saint-Germain.
for people France, Biarritz.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Me too.
But I've
I
done
went
it
last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you're a
Yeah,
surfer, bro. The
I'm
blood.
not, I have the haircut, but I'm not surfing that much. You know?
Okay,
My
okay,
brother
okay.
does.
Yeah?
But not me. Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, so we're here today with my man from NFS, Tristan, who's the president of NFS, for everyone who knows. Can you give a little background about yourself? Where are you from? Explain to the
of
people
course.
who you are.
My name is Tristan. I'm
Yeah.
a second-year IBA student, and I come from France.
Yeah.
I come from a little city called Annecy. It's close to Geneva,
Yeah.
in the mountains. Kind of lost, but yeah,
Well, you
this
bet.
is my background, and I arrived 2 years ago. Then, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know how to ski really well?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
since I'm
true.
3 years old, I've been skiing, bro. So that's
Wow.
running on the veins. You know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm saying. Do you know how to ski, Paul?
I do. I'm okay. No, you'll see one day.
Fair enough.
No, I've been
Yeah.
skiing also
Nah.
since I was like 5, but I love to ski. But
That's
yeah.
so nice,
I
bro.
always envied people who lived in the mountains because they must be
Yeah.
so good
Yeah,
skiers. bro.
for us, it's just like random weekend.
Yeah.
You wake up, there is like snow. It's
Yeah.
it's sunny. Why not going? You just take the car, 30
Fair.
minutes, and then you're on the slopes.
Fair
so
enough.
that's actually really nice.
Fair
That's
enough, fair
incredible, bro.
Yeah,
Imagine
it
that
is.
life.
Yeah. Different, bro. We're Paris, Parisians here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, the whole point of this podcast at the end of the day is what is NFS? Can you give us a little explanation of what NFS is for people who are listening who have no idea?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
as
definitely.
we said, Tristan is the president of an association here in Rotterdam, NFS, which is based around fashion. But kind of explain it more since you're the president. You can give.
Yeah. So basically, NFS as a whole association is just like here to provide a bridge between students and the fashion world in general.
Okay.
So we have like kind of two sides. We have the business side and the event side. The business side is just more to connect people with the companies that are recruiting the potential talents.
Yeah.
And then you have like the events part, which is more like to bring the excitement of fashion into campus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the NFS, you have like 4 branches now. You have one in Rotterdam, the oldest one. I think it's like 11 years old.
Yeah.
And we have like 47 members that are
Wow.
part of the association. And then you have like 3 other branches, one in Amsterdam, one in Maastricht, and one in Groningen that started a year ago. So yeah,
Wow,
that's
so
a little background. And yeah, it's just an association around fashion.
Doing loads of different things,
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
yeah.
So like, if you could just give us like the names of the different type of stuff that you do, so that people kind of like, what,
Yeah.
fashion shows, shootings, what is it kind of?
So basically, as I said, we have like two kind of sides, but we have like 5 committees. So we have the finance committee.
Yeah.
That is just like the committee to make sure that everything goes right in terms of finances.
Yeah.
Then we have the marketing committee, which is kind of the glue between all the committees.
Oh.
Just do the content on Instagram,
Yeah.
LinkedIn, website, you know it.
Of course.
Events. The main goal of events is to like do fashion shows and galas for students that are interested in fashion, and also to promote the local designers of Rotterdam, Amsterdam, and also other cities and countries. So this is something that we
Wow.
do a lot. We do 2 fashion shows a year.
Yeah.
And then we have the business side, which is more like connecting the students with the companies and our partners. For example, we are partner with Hermes.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Kind of a flex.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That
and
is for
since
sure.
2 years, I think 2 or 3 years now, and they come to campus for the fashion internship fair, for example, which is like a huge networking event where like fashion companies are coming, and
Yeah.
you can just like make the connection between the students that are going to see the companies, So
Okay.
this is something that we do as well.
Okay. So yeah, okay. Wow, I didn't know that. Bro.
That's
MS, bro,
interesting,
huge,
yeah.
bro. But so
Yeah,
for
a lot
people
of
like,
things to do.
so like, okay, so the background of NFS being like a fashion kind of association, but the fact that you're president, so you gotta, for people who don't know, how did you get into that position? How does that come about? And how long has NFS also been going on for?
Okay,
Because so people have like a, can link
Yeah.
you and NFS together.
I'm gonna start with the first question. So basically, like the board recruitment for the next academic year is starting now, for example. So for me, it was a year ago. So in May, approx, I applied to be the president, and it was the old board that chose the members for the next academic year.
Okay.
So for example, right now, I'm the president, as you said, and I'm going to choose the next president in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then this guy or girl is going to be the next president for the next academic year. So it's just like a recruitment by the old board members. And it's been going on for 11 years, but it was really like rising up when it was like before COVID. But then, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but after, like during COVID, it was super difficult to maintain the fashion shows and the hype behind it, and same for like the business events. So we started from scratch again after COVID. And I think last year was really a turn for the association, because we rebranded, we recreated the logo, the vibe, the marketing guidelines and everything, and also the expectations we were setting for the members and the project that we had.
Okay. So it's been nearly a full year that you've been president. Okay.
That's it.
And so you apply, but at the end of the day, they choose for you to be. Okay. So the previous board chose you basically as their president.
So you were a member, right?
Yeah.
And then you became from member to president directly, or did you have some responsibilities like before already in the?
So I did. Like the first year I arrived here, I joined the New Fashion Society as an events member. So I was in charge of organizing all the fashion shows and everything. But I was only like a normal member. Like I wasn't on the board or anything. And during the year, I think I just proved that I was capable of, handling more responsibilities.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, the old board chose me and my board to be the next board. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it was like they saw the potential in you, and then were like,
maybe.
No, but it is. It must have been like you don't have to say it. You can stay humble with it, but it must have been like they saw like the potential of a guy who is already planning their events. Why not make him president? But yeah, that's cool, because I feel like NFS has got a big place here in Rotterdam, especially on our campus. I mean, loads of people know about it. Loads of people go to the fashion shows.
I think it has a lot of influence, actually. Like,
yeah, it does.
Also in terms of fashion shit. Like.
That's why I found it super interesting to do this podcast with you about NFS, because I feel like even though a lot of people have seen it, not many people maybe know what exactly concretely goes on as in the association. You said there was how many members again? 47?
47, yeah.
And that's just Rotterdam.
Yeah, that's just Rotterdam.
Okay,
that's
because there's also
already,
that's what we'll get into that later.
120.
Well,
kind of a lot.
I know. We'll explain that later of like the expansion and stuff. But for NFS Rotterdam, that is the biggest one, right?
Yeah, the biggest one, the oldest one, and the
how long?
11 years.
11 years. Okay,
that's really long.
So 11 years, and I'm guessing as the time's gone on, you guys have done more things or different things. Has it always been the same, like 2 fashion shows per year?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I would say before COVID, it was more oriented towards like having seminars, like having, let's say, every month you have a seminar where a company comes and explains what they're doing basically, and then you have like members attending those events and trying to inform themselves. And in terms of what the events committee was doing, I think it was more like exhibitions, maybe like fashion show on a smaller scale, but I don't think it was that big. Plus, if I remember well, 3 years ago the fashion show was in the Ola, so you see like and last fashion show was all four in close to campus for like 250 people. So you see how much we improved, and I think it's like really nice that we could make this done. And it was never the same. I think the spirit is still here. The values that are like part of NFS and the core of the association are still here, but the projects and the way we are approaching every committee is different. And at the end of every year, we always review the mistakes that we've done during the year, and we're like, okay, how can we change the structure to make it better for the next year? And then it goes like this, and
slowly kind of
definitely. Yeah. I think it's just like incremental progress.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's really good to have that. Also, like sometimes it can take a year for you to realize the progress that you've been making, slowly over a year. Exactly. You put a lot of work in it, and you're like, well, why am I not seeing it like go up?
Definitely,
but that's part of the game. Like it's part of the process. Yeah. But so basically, in general, this association really is trying to get as many people as possible into a fashion industry. That is the essence of the association, like in general.
Yeah, I would say that the main problem with fashion in general is that people think it's really like exclusive, really difficult to enter, which is totally true. However, what we
I love how you said
it's difficult to enter the industry, if you don't have the contacts, if you don't have the experiences, you always like have a lot of expertise.
It's the way you said it. You said it in such a French way. It's definitely true. It's totally true.
And
God, I'm sorry, I threw you off, bro.
What was I saying, bro?
But you're saying it's hard to get in, but it also isn't. So like,
well, I mean, what we're trying to provide is more like to show to people that it's really inclusive in our way. We want every people to have an opportunity, every person to have an opportunity with NFS. Let's say photographers for our fashion shows. We are trying to always bring different photographers for them to build their own portfolio, or DJs, or models. You know, like we always try to include new people to get those people like a new experience, and also like get the opportunity to meet maybe someone that will gonna help them to enter the industry. And it's also the same for the business side. I think like with the fashion internship fair, we are providing good opportunities for like second year students that want to have an internship. For example, IBA student in their third year, they have to have an internships. I think it's the same for IPCOM, but in second year, right?
Yeah, it's like for us, it's right now. It's end
so
of
you
year.
see, like, if you don't have the contact, if you don't meet the HR manager, it's tough to just send your CV and you like motivation later. They're not gonna look at it, you know. You have to have this first LinkedIn contact or just like email address. And I think this is what we're trying to provide. Plus, we're trying to show to people that fashion can be for everyone. You don't have to have nice clothes in your closet to be like fashionable, you know. You just have to enjoy what you're wearing and show that you're enjoying the clothes that you have and the vibe behind it, and then it's cool, you know. So it's just like
it's like making it your own style, like you're making It's so interesting because what people would think with fashion is like expensive clothes, you know, wearing like it's a certain type of portfolio, you know.
It's like very.
But at the end of the day, like how do you define fashion? Like it's so even hard to what is fashion?
I have a word for that. Like, I've been thinking about it a lot because, you know, like in our interviews in general, we'd always ask, what do you like about fashion?
Yeah.
And I think it's just freedom. Just the fact that you can do whatever you want. You have some people that are just wearing crazy shit when you think about it.
Yeah.
But it just looks cool on them. Yeah. Because they accept it. They like the way they look, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it also goes with accepting who you are. Yeah. So I think those two words and those two values are really important in fashion because there are no limits, there are no constraints. Like the designers have a really creative mindsets. Yeah. Because they don't put limits on their work, you know what I mean? So I think at the end, this would be fashion.
So is that like freedom what made you go into fashion, or is it like?
I think the reason why I'm into fashion is really, really different from everyone. Because, I mean, I started like when I was 11 or 12. My father is like a shoe designer. So when he was coming home, he was always presenting me like his shoes. And because we have the same shoe size, I was wearing them actually. And after one point, I started collecting tons of shoes, like 20 pairs at home. And I was like, I really like it, you know. Damn. Then he introduced me like to Nike shoes and all the IBR in it, like, you know. And after like 5 years of collecting shoes, I was like, okay, I'm a bit bored, you know. Like, I saw a lot of stuff. I want something different. And my dad told me about Arc'teryx, GoPro brand, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. I love everything that is waterproof, you know. And I was like, might as well go into that direction, you know. And I don't know why I started following like Instagram accounts about GoPro, people trying new styles and everything, and I was like, this is interesting. And then I arrived in the Netherlands. I was completely lost, and
like all of us, bro. Like all of us.
I think it's just like Jesus you go Christ. There, kind of random. You don't know what you're doing here, but you're just trying to, you know, enjoy the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. Yeah, bro.
And I remember my Eureka Week guide. She was like, "Yeah, there is this fashion association. You want to take a look?" And I was like, "Why not?" It was during Eureka Week. I had nothing else to do. I saw the thing and I was like, "This looks cool." Yeah. I applied. My CV was shit. My video was shit. But they told me I was funny, so I got the interview because I was funny, you know. And and then bro, I started to do the interview, and I was so stressed, bro. You can't imagine. I wasn't speaking English that well back then. Yeah. And I was like, fuck. I need to have 1 hour of English conversation
with someone that speaks probably very good. Like and I could imagine.
It went okay. Like when I got out of the interview, I was like, well, we will see. Yeah. And I got in, and I was like, you know what? Let's take this opportunity to learn a bit more about fashion. I mean, I already had a kind of a background. Yeah. But still, like, I wasn't the one that was like watching fashion shows every night or looking at the news on Instagram. I was more someone that looked from the outside and discussed it with my dad. Yeah. And after one point, I started to really enjoy it with NFS. So I involved myself a bit more, and here I am now.
Hey, so that's like the life story.
It is, yeah.
But I really like cool the. Do you think that's a question for because you told me your dad, so your dad plays a huge part in it.
Definitely. I would
praise the dad. Praise pops. But So do you think a lot of people who then have, or specifically for you, have this, I don't know, how do you say it, this love for fashion, it comes from an influence maybe from above, from like you and it was your dad, or different people, or does it just sometimes come to people naturally, I don't know, in your association? Why are people so interested in fashion?
I think it's just like people that are really creative in general. I mean, for most of them, not for everyone, I don't want to make it too general, but a lot of people are really creative, and they wanted to express their creativity somehow. And we have some people in the association that are designers, some people that are like, photographers as well. And I think it also comes from just a passion of creation. And then, I don't know, I think it's just like, you can express who you are through your clothes.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think some people really enjoy the fact that they can be themselves while wearing their clothes. And I think this is something that reunite all of us, that people that like fashion in general,
That's what I was thinking, is that fashion is the number one thing that helps people either have an identity, showing their identity to people. It's like,
yourself.
It's literally,
so good,
it's literally the only way to really show people your identity without having to talk to someone. You know what I mean? Like, it is. Yeah. So it's like, if I see someone dressed in a certain way across the street, I can deduce in my head, okay, this person might be like this or like that, these things, like that thing. If I see a guy dressed in all black, I might think, oh, do I approach it? It's true. If I see someone with bright colors, I might be like, oh, that person might be a lot more like out, like friendly. It's weird.
The way you dress is like one of the first like indicators of who you are.
For sure. So that's why it's so interesting, because that's why I think people love fashion so much, is that it helps a lot of people express themselves.
Definitely, yeah. Be yourself as well. In general, just be yourself.
Be yourself when maybe in like sometimes in life they feel like they can't be. So clothes helps people express themselves. I think to another degree that you can't even put into words. Like, it's just something different.
But coming back from influence, I think you don't have to have an influence. It's just like, I got the opportunity because my dad. But who knows? Maybe with some, just like on Instagram, randomly seeing something that I like and starting to follow this account, and then another account, then another account. It can come from everywhere, I would say. It's just a mindset of like, in your life, at what point are you? Are you like really like happy with who you are and stable with your situation? Like, how are you in the daily life? And then it comes from, okay, maybe I'm not feeling that happy. How can I express myself more? And then it's an opportunity. You have all those opportunities that are like different passions, but I think it also goes with your like clothes in general.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
I think it's definitely
I think the way you can do like a song is also the way you can construct it, like an outfit.
Yeah, it could be.
It's true. Think about it. It's a good example. Yeah, like, it's true. It's so weird. I think it's I like when you talk about fashion. What I love about fashion also is that you can talk about it in so many different ways.
Definitely, yeah.
Because there's like fashion. So for the cameras, which is more like you're gonna wear more elegant clothes, maybe to look good. Then you've got what fashion brings to people. Then you've got why so people like. It's just so interesting. But to go maybe into we talk about NFS in general, so which is the Fashion Association. What is the core of what you guys do? I guess like the events, right? This is what interests me really when I was like talking to you before. What specifically goes on in these events that distinguishes yourself as a different type of association? Because there's a lot of fashion associations that exist in this world, but what does make NFS in your events different in that way?
I'm going to start with the business side, because I think we're doing things that are different from others. You have a lot of networking opportunities on campus.
Yeah. I mean,
but
that's the prime example.
Come to the pod. Welcome to the pod.
But the fashion industry is really closed, and the fact that you have like those huge companies such as Hermes, Under Armour, or I don't know, also like we had PVH that came to the internship fair, and those HR managers met the students of Rotterdam, and it was the first contact. They got LinkedIn's. Maybe they got an opportunity to pursue like an internship with them. You see, like, I think we're bringing an opportunity that is really difficult to find if you're not part of Rotterdam or the association. This is for the business side. I think we really help people to find their way into the business, and we know that because a lot of alumni from NFS are now part of huge corporate companies.
Really?
Of fashion. Yeah.
We
have some people at Hugo Boss, Hermes. Yeah,
Jesus.
And I think
so. What's like the interest of all these companies like collabing, with your events and shit? What's the interest for them? Like, because I think people don't really see that. They see it from far. So it's like,
I think you have to understand that those companies are looking for talented people. And I think that Erasmus University is one of the biggest university of the Netherlands, if not the biggest.
I think it's number one.
And
Amsterdam
rankings,
gonna say something else.
Amsterdam, they're ops, bro.
And you see, like, for those companies, they're like, okay, this is the most talented workforce we can find for internships.
Yeah.
Or that maybe for jobs. So why not also, like, if they have an interest in fashion already, they already did like of an experience with NFS, it's perfect. We can go for them. And also, like,
so it's like scouting kind of.
Yeah, I think for them it's scouting, plus like they know the workforce gonna be solid. They're gonna be like, people are gonna be trained for that, motivated. They will go out of their comfort zone to, you know, make the things happen in their life, have the opportunities. So I think from the business side, this is what they're looking for, and this is what we can provide. From the event side, I think Rotterdam is a vibrant city when you look at it.
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
A lot of students association, also like events, clubs, whatever. But when it comes to art, I don't think you have that much.
It lacks a bit.
Yeah, or it's just like not well known. And I think NFS brings a new type of party. It's not really a party. It's just like going out, dressed up, and getting the chance to, you know, see a show.
Yeah.
And for the fashion show, I mean, and for the gala, it's just like everyone dresses nicely. You get to know new people that are maybe like close to you as well, in terms of like they like fashion, you like fashion. You can connect to each other, you know.
Yeah,
100%.
And I think we're bringing new excitement on campus, I would say.
I think that is what it is. I think it's excitement, and it also, a lot of people can think to themselves, oh, I can meet loads of cool people.
Exactly,
and
it's
kind of like
the event, like it's kind of for everybody,
like,
and you can also like do a lot with it. So it's I think that's really cool. Like,
because, you know, if you got like a photographer who maybe doesn't get to be a photographer at your event, but goes there, meets you or meets other photographers, and you can be like, oh, you know what, next time, take your number,
we can work
and
together.
it gives opportunities to loads of different people. And I think that is something that this university likes. That's something we've talked about a lot, about something we like, being able to put people together from different industries and help them push each other to the top, you know? And that's something that NFS seems to be able to do really, really well. And of course, you got a fashion show, which is...
I think also it's just like, in general, you don't go to fashion shows. It's something really closed. Like, you cannot even have like an invitation or something. And the fact that we are providing fashion shows that are like such unique events for everyone, actually, because everyone can come. Like, we don't have like a white list or whatever. Like, everyone can come. You just buy your ticket and you can join us, you know?
Yeah.
And because we are a student association, we're trying to make it as cheap as possible for everyone. Just, you know, we don't make profit out of our events. It's just like break even. So I think it's a good opportunity for people also just to do new things. Like, just the fact that, okay, I went to a fashion show in my life. That's cool, you know. It's just like going to art exhibition or whatever, and something that you cannot really find in Rotterdam that 100%. Much, I would say.
Especially like a fashion show that incorporates many of the people who walk. Like, how do you call it? Like models. As or students. A lot of the models are students. So for a lot of us, it's like, oh damn, my friend.
You can see your friends.
It's true.
That's crazy when you think about it. Yeah.
Which is something that you would probably never think of being able to do. Like,
how do you prepare them actually? Like, is there like a preparation that you do, or is it just people that?
So basically, the model casting, how it works is that you just scout model in general. Like, you just say, okay, we have this room. Come and just walk, and we will tell you if you taken or not. So basically, usually it's mostly like 150 people applying for models, and we have like 35 people that got accepted.
So how does the selection process kind of go?
Because, you know, like, fashion needs to be diverse, in my opinion. It's
100%.
Really something important. And when you look at the body type of models in general in the fashion industry, it looks similar. And this is something that we don't want. We really want to show that there are a lot of different body types, and wherever you are, you can walk if you know how to walk. So we don't.
So it's more about knowing how to walk than actually.
That's my point. Yeah.
I like that mentality.
Just to give an example, last year, you know, like, we had this designer that gave a ski mask to every model, so you couldn't see their faces. It was just about their walk. And I think this is really something important to say, because a lot of people are like afraid to do model casting, because they're like, but I don't think I'm worthy, or whatever. I'm like, bro, just come and you will see. And if
you said it well, just come.
I mean, also, like, we have like some people that are models in our team as well that can help you to walk better.
That's
and even
true,
though you're not accepted, then you had the opportunity to, you know, learn how to walk. And
Exactly.
then after that, when we have our 35 models approx, we do a boot camp with a professional from model agency that helps you to walk, gives you advice, and then you have like also different. You go on the venue at the venue and just learn how to walk in the venue as well. So we have a lot of preparation, and I think the fact that it's done with like professional agencies and professional models that are also part of the teams makes it really professional for the models and makes them maybe more confident. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
For sure.
definitely.
I think it's really cool, like when you look at NFS, how you're like able to just like teach so much, like in so much different fields also. Like that's so interesting, I think, about the association.
The association,
I remember when like I had the transition for being the new president. My old president told me something like, it's all about learning.
It's like a mentor.
Yeah. Kind of, I mean, he was
the
right
Jedi to the Padawan.
Master Ogi, bro. My time must come.
Son, listen to me. Your time will come.
That was a bit the vibe, to be fair. But yeah, and I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, I think being part of a university, being a student, is all about learning in general. You don't have to prove anything. So when you have this in mind and you want to apply it to the members and the people in campus, everything becomes so cool because you're like, okay, being a model is a learning opportunity and going out of my comfort zone. Being a photographer for this fashion show, going out of my safe zone, you know what I mean? And I think this is what we're also here for. Just provide the learning opportunities to all the students on campus.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think, you're right. Your mentor was right. It's like, it's about learning. It's about gaining these values, gaining an experience. Because what I love about it is that you're giving people an opportunity to go up to a designer and be like, yo, I worked with this association. I modeled there, and that might lead them to a job. Also, it might lead them to, whatever. So it's
also like, the professional agency we are working with, I've recruited a lot of models from NFS.
Yeah, see?
And then they became models for a professional agency. So I think it's really cool that we can do that, knowing also like how difficult it is to become a model.
Yeah,
like, definitely. I think you're also like literally the perfect example of bridging the gap between the professional world and student life.
Yeah.
It's like you're like the trampoline. Also, I swear to God, you're like the trampoline. You help people come into your association. You kind of form them, and you make them ready to be like grounded by the professional. It's true. That's
why I was saying learning.
Yeah, because it's perfectly said. Like learning is the perfect word for it, because you're offering them something that they cannot get anywhere else. Which that's why I think NFS is so like
uniqueness as well.
Yeah. Uniqueness.
We're different from a lot of associations, but I've seen a lot of cool stuff this year happening in other associations, and I'm so happy about it because for example, like I really like the Italian association because they started like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And now they're doing like cool events. They did a masquerade party with like a live jazz band, and you see like all of those things really interest me because I'm like, that's cool. Yeah. They're differentiating themselves from just like a normal study association, which we need both. Don't agree with this, but having the opportunity to have like different associations that are doing new stuff is also cool.
I think
that's for sure.
Don't get me mistaken. I mean, Italian, French also is doing pretty well.
Yeah,
they're kind of growing
next week.
Yeah, they are. I think it's at Burs.
No, it's at the cafe. I don't know exactly which cafe, but
somewhere. No, I don't know.
They did also the Burst like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was
cool.
Yeah, we'll pop by, probably. But yeah, like the one thing that I'd say is that NFS is probably the biggest association on campus. No,
you have Case Club. You
Case Club is huge actually.
Plus you have Enactus. Enactus also is huge. You just don't see it because it's more like internally. But the competitions they are doing to promote entrepreneurship is crazy. Plus, like I don't know if you had the opportunity to talk with some people from Enactus, but
no, I haven't actually.
They have a lot of ventures with really cool projects that are really working well. Like they started like small businesses, but now the sales are going better and better and better, and they're really improving. And I think Enactus is really also a cool association, but you just don't see it that much because they are not really public.
Yeah, they're more.
You know what I mean? But NFS, the thing with NFS is we see it everywhere, like on stories, because people are like, was that the catwalk?
Then you post your BV or whatever. Yeah, of course.
No, I mean, also like it's fashion, like it's all about like being.
It's about being seen and social media and like, shit, I was there.
Yeah,
it's true. So like for us, I think when we think about association, that's the one I see the most. Like it's the biggest on
that's
camera.
Really nice to hear, bro.
I promise you, it's true.
Our marketing works then.
No, I swear your marketing does work.
Honestly,
because
it works well.
It does work well because like the whole point of fashion is to be seen. So if I'm not seeing a story about it, then it's not like. But if I am, then it's definitely hitting the right the right spot.
Perfect.
Hard.
Perfect. Then we did our job.
You're doing your job well, bro. But only like 2 weeks left. So
Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I have more time.
Yeah,
Don't
fair,
kill me
fair.
already, bro.
I'm not killing you, bro. But
All right. What was your like biggest achievement maybe as a president? You know, like for NFS.
Oof.
That's a tough question.
But I didn't know that was the question that you were loaded, bro.
It was ready, bro.
It's going crazy.
To be honest, I think, like, as I said, I'm not choosing the board I'm working with.
Yeah.
So having the possibility to work well as a group and individually is, I think, my biggest achievement. Because when I started the year, also, like, all the boards, there are girls. So I'm the only boy in the board. So it's sometimes, like, difficult in terms of interactions. But, I mean, we overcame this obstacle. But, I mean, I think the worst challenge was getting to know everyone, getting to know how they worked, and finding the perfect balance to create a group.
Yeah.
You know, because you can have clashes between two types of personalities, which arise a lot, and it's normal. But then I think I really limit those clashes during the year, because since the beginning of the year I started to get to know them, and by getting to know them, then I was like, okay, this group atmosphere would be nice. And then I was doing like events, like internal for the 6 of us, or just meetings that were like tailored to this atmosphere that I created. And I think my biggest achievement is that there were some clashes, of course, because it's an association, it's a group. We need to make choices. But I think at the end we really enjoyed to work all together, and we achieved what we wanted. Like the 3 missions we decided at the beginning of the year were almost achieved. So I'm really happy with that.
Okay.
Wow. Damn. Would you say like it's patience that's the key to making that group work?
Yeah. Also, you have to be really flexible, because if you go there and you think like, okay, I'm gonna like organize everything,
It's like
oversee
ego aside.
Ego disappears when you're president, and that's
100%.
weird to say, because actually, like, you're the one like bringing light on your managers. You don't bring light to yourself. You know what I mean? Because they are the ones that are also in charge of the events.
Of course.
So they kind of get the credits, which is completely normal. It's also their work, but I'm working behind the scenes.
As like you're like,
And
it's like puppets. It's like I get what you mean.
So it means like my ego doesn't exist anymore for that, because you have to be like flexible. You have to understand like other people's points as well. Like if they say this is a bad idea, okay, it's a bad idea. I won't continue with it. Let's do what you want. And I think it's tough sometimes to also like think, okay, you have to work in the background. You have to think about everything, because in their head, every manager has his or her own schedule. But I have
100%.
everyone's schedule in my head, and I need to put everything at the same time. You know, for example, like let's say we're organizing a fashion show, but at the same time we have the fashion internship fair. Let's say I have to make sure that the marketing for fashion internship fair doesn't overlap with the fashion show, and I have to make sure that the office is ready for the model castings, let's say, or the model fittings.
Yeah.
But then during the events for the business, I have to make sure that it's free as well. So it's always like thinking about all the different directions that it can go, and having everything in mind. And
wow, because it's so there must be a lot. So it's a lot of pressure then at the end of the day.
I think it's mentally a lot of pressure. What I always say about being president is you're not gonna do a lot physically, but you will have a lot to think about, because when there is a problem, people are counting on you. They're not counting on themselves. Like, of course, they're trying their best to solve the problem. But when it's out of their reach, I'm the help. I'm the one that's gonna provide the solutions.
So you kind of have to be like, in a way, the people, if they have a problem, they're gonna go to you with it. So you have to make sure that you then know what to do.
Exactly.
So I get what you mean. Like, it can be kind of like, does it get overwhelming?
It is overwhelming. Mentally, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to bear. But after like 2-3 months, you understand how to do it. And you know, for example, big problem I had beginning of the year, I was always on my phone, because I had to text people to make sure that things were done. You know. And at one point, I realized, like, I was with some friends, and I was always taking my phone to send messages, and then put it back, and I was like, fuck, but I don't want this life, you know. Like, after my day, I just want to chill with friends and then answer next day. But it's always difficult, because some people, they have like urgent topics that you need to deal. So
you can't wait. But do you still deal with that then to this day? Do you still have to be on your phone a lot?
Well, basically what I'm trying to do is every morning when I wake up, I'm answering everyone.
Then I do my thing,
And when I get a message, I write on my notes, okay, I have to answer to this message. I close my phone and then I'll think about it later. And I'm trying to find the moments in my day when I'm like, okay, I'm alone. Mostly when I'm in the tram, I'm texting people before going to sleep and whatever. So I'm really trying to organize my schedule to have this balance between uni, association and life, because I think it's really important at the end.
Well, yeah, of course, you don't want to be, especially at this age.
Even in professional life,
you need to enjoy, like, you need to go out, you need to have friends and be with your friends and just like not think about an association or
Definitely,
whatever.
yeah.
Because otherwise you're just gonna miss out. And then when you're gonna be 50 years old, you're gonna be like, oh shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to have the balance.
It's true. Like you're gonna be there, you're gonna be 50, you can be like, oh fuck, what the fuck did I do when I was 20? Like, you know, so I think no, it's good that you can find that balance. I kind of get you on that, because sometimes my phone is going off when you have an internship, then you do this pod, and then you have like I organize parties also, so I'm like fucking on my phone all the time, and then you don't want that. Like you don't just put the phone down, just leave it away.
Also,
so I get what you're saying.
I think when you realize that, then you're really more efficient with the time you spend on your association. For me, I realized that after that, I was spending less time doing NFS, but it was way more efficient, and I got things done really quickly. Also, I think it comes with experience and everything, but when you realize that, okay, you have time for everything. Study, going out, meeting new people, seeing your friends, family, and then association as well. So it was really difficult to find the balance. It took me like 3 months, I would say. Now I'm more okay with it, but sometimes, like especially when in busy times, it takes a lot of space in my head, to be honest.
Yeah, no, but I can imagine that, because it's just these things make, especially I bet I could tell you're someone who thinks a lot. I think do you get that thing where you kind of overthink, especially that you're having
and
to.
Then you think, oh, what did the other one think?
Exactly, because since you're president, I guess you've got to deal with like you said, there's like 5 different board
committees.
So then if you got 5 different people with 5 different personalities, and like you're, I guess, on good terms with these people, friendly with them. It's like a lot of like, oh shit, gotta connect this, and like I don't know, it could get very like overthinking and stuff, right?
Definitely. At first, it was so tough, because you know, like you want to please everyone. You want to make it easy for everyone as well. But then you realize that if you make it easy for someone, it might make it harder for someone else that is in the board. So it's always about being transparent about the issues that you have, and that's why I think like the board meetings that we have every time is like, okay, everyone gives update. And then we talk about it, and we give our advices and our opinions about it. So then we act as a group and not as individuals. And it helps me to overthink less. I still do, of course. And most of the time it's like when they are not answering, because of course everyone needs to have their time on their phone, and just also like don't answer. But 100%. When I need something quickly and I send a message and they don't answer in like one day, and I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna solve this issue? And then like whenever they answer, problem solved. You know what I mean? As you said, I would overthink a lot. But I think
that's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not
bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
It could be bad when sometimes there's no reason to.
Exactly.
It's like you gotta turn it. You could use it to try and turn it into a positive, but like it could easily become a negative. That's the thing.
I think the main positive aspect of overthinking is that then you prepared for everything.
100%.
That's the thing.
But are you too prepared then?
No, but you don't let the things out, you know, and I think that's
but then
important.
Sometimes when you overthink, you miss what is the most important part of it.
Of course.
That's exactly the point.
But what I'm saying is, like, for example, let's say like we're releasing a ticket for a fashion show. You never know if it's gonna work out or not, because people might not be hyped. So you have to think about different strategies, like plan B, plan C, and backup plans as well. And I think overthinking too much helps you finding those plans, and then it helps you also to not overthink it anymore, because you're like, okay, I prepared those 5 plans. I'm saying 5, maybe it's 2. Like I don't know, but, and then you're like, okay, I can chill now. I can just
have an overlook, like
and then I say to my manager, okay, these are the plans I have in mind. What is your opinion on them? We chat. We find perfect solutions, and then we see how it goes, and we go with the flow afterwards. So I think
really sick.
But as you said, it can take a lot of space in my head.
Of course.
It can get me like really stressed, to be fair, especially like when we have like huge problems.
I bet, because it kind of all falls back onto you in a way.
Yeah. I mean, also the manager's responsibility. It's the board responsibility.
Mostly. Mostly the board.
People are gonna see as me as well, because I mean, I'm the president, so people are relating it to me. You know.
There's like you and then 5 other board members, including a manager, right? No.
Basically, how it works, like, I think I might express myself wrongly, but it's like me and 5 managers.
Okay, so when you say manager, okay, that's what I mean. But so if there's 6 of you dealing with 100 and not 100, but 47 people.
41 if you
but then
doesn't count
but
as-
then also the general audience, because you've got to like people come to these fashion shows selling the tickets. I can understand that it gets a lot. Like
Yeah.
it must be
Yeah.
a little
Also,
bit
like,
stressful. Like
I'm gonna give you some numbers. Let's say you want to do a fashion show.
yeah,
You have the board
Yeah.
that's gonna organize it and define some things and help the committee. Then you have the committee, already 10 people.
yeah,
But then you have photographers, 3 to 5. But then you have the models, 35. Then you have the
Jesus.
designers, 10 to 15,
Yeah.
20 even. Then you have like also like the venue people that you
Yeah.
need to deal with, the security, and then like it's
Yeah.
100 people to deal in one day. And it can be really messy, but I have the chance to work with like really talented people in my committee,
course.
and in the association that helps a lot, because you really need to be not talented, but you need to be ready to learn, I would say.
Yeah.
If you're ready as I said, like when I arrived, bro, I was lost, and I learned
100%.
everything about managing in 1 year, and in 1 year and a half, knowing that after that I had also like the president position to learn as well, and I'm still learning a lot, and I
Of
will
course.
learn until the end. And I think like if you're really eager to learn, then the new fashion study is
Yeah.
is where you can start. Yeah.
wow. Now,
Alright.
honestly, I really
Alright.
honestly I really respect you, Tristan, because like
Thanks.
I love you're super humble in the. A lot of people could be like, oh, I'm the president of NFS, you know
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
mean? But you're still here saying like, you know what, I'm still willing to learn. I'm still willing to grow. I'm not like, it's not a dictatorship or anything. You're with a bunch of people doing this together, and a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people don't know how to put their ego aside and
That's
be
for
like, you
sure.
know what, I've got to use other people to help grow this thing, instead of just me being like, yo,
Yeah.
let's do this, and
Yeah.
everyone shut up. You know,
Yeah,
like
you have
that's
to
why,
have
like-
dedication
So, like,
and be selfless, and that's
really,
that's
like big respect for
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Honestly, big respect for
But
it.
I think it coming back to what you were saying, it comes to the hierarchy that the association have.
Like it was like this.
I
before, yeah.
cannot take all the credit, because the managers are putting as much effort, if not more, than me.
Yeah,
And we all together in this, and I really
Yeah.
respect them for the growth they had, and I think I'm just like in charge also to make sure that they're growing, and this is where my pride comes from. It's not about like the magnificent fashion shows or business events that we're doing. This, I'm proud for my managers to also contributed their time and their effort in it. Of course, like I was also part of it and organizing it as well, but it's more like I see that through them. But then the growing part of every member
yeah.
is my responsibility, and this is what I can be proud of. So,
yeah.
but thanks for the
Oh,
compliment,
of course, man. Well, I tell you, when
problem,
I
no
see
problem.
people who are talented or able to, who are just driven people, like you clearly are determined, there's only respect that you can give, because not loads of people are like that. So it's always nice to find people who are. But the question we were thinking about earlier was about NFS potentially maybe one day going international, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? Are you allowed to? And also,
Yeah.
is that a possibility one day of it going international?
Yeah, I can elaborate on this. So as I said, like the franchise started in the Netherlands, and
Yeah.
right now we have 4 branches in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So we are planning on expanding internationally, but you have to take things slowly, because if you go too fast, then it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole reputation that's gonna collapse.
Mm.
So you have to think first, like we have to prove to people and we have to prove to ourselves that we can make it happen.
Exactly.
And every branch needs to do the effort and need to invest the time and the work to make sure that their branches is going well. And the main problem that you have as an association is that every year it's a new board. So every year it's a restart.
Yeah.
Because you have to
Yeah.
make sure that the next board is going to be up to your expectations. So I think first, before going international, the main goal, and I think what we'll focus on in the next couple of years, it's more like focusing on establishing ourselves in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands, as
making
like
sure-
as bigger, yeah.
Also, like we were talking about bridging the gap between like students and professionals.
Yeah.
We can also do that with the franchise, because it creates like a huge network. Like
Exactly,
let's say like
yeah.
imagine like now that NFS is also part of Amsterdam, Groningen and Maastricht, if you go to one of these cities later on in your life, people may know about it, and it increases your chance of getting a job because of NFS. So I think this is the purpose now, just expanding nationally, making sure that everything is up to standards, and also like bringing this excitement everywhere, and then we'll think internationally.
No, of course, 100%. I mean, like there's so much potential. I think
Yeah,
that's why.
yeah,
definitely.
But,
Yeah.
but you can't get ahead of yourself, because if you get ahead of yourself, then you're gonna maybe fall behind on something that's more
definitely, you're gonna
important.
struggle. Plus,
Yeah.
I think people maybe don't realize how difficult it is to stick to marketing guidelines.
100%.
Because we are trying to establish policies inside for all the branches to make sure that everyone is using their own logos.
Yeah.
They're not copying, but using the same marketing materials as the other branches, because we want to differentiate ourselves as well. And this is so difficult to implement already with 4 branches, because it's 120 people.
Yeah, how do you make the same and at the same time like differentiate it?
I mean, it's really tough. Usually it's just like little details.
Okay, continue, because what I'm getting confused about is how are you gonna all grow together, right? If you don't even have control over their franchise.
Yeah, I get you.
Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of tricky. Yeah, I think you need to understand that it's more like social things that are gonna happen. It's called a social franchise, where we are trying to achieve right now. So basically, it's just like helping people to grow by themselves.
Yeah.
And as it comes back again to the learning opportunity I was saying, but with the experience that NFS Rotterdam already has, we can give insights to the other branches. And right now you have Groningen and Maastricht that are like trying to organize their own fashion show. They already sold tickets, going crazy, and in 1 year only doing a fashion show is crazy,
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
you see, like, it's because I think as a community we brought a lot to the table. We gave a lot of advice, and they learned from us, and we learned from them. And I think like it's more like inspiring ourselves, and also like you look what they're doing, like, oh, I like this, it's cool. Maybe we can go in the same direction, but with our own identity, kind of. And the fact that we don't have control over ourselves, like, I'm controlling Rotterdam with my board. I'm not controlling, but I'm taking care of Rotterdam with my board. They are taking care of Maastricht with their board, etc., etc. Makes it easier, because then you don't have to wait. You can do the things yourself. Go and follow your own path, and then just giving advice. I get what you mean. And if maybe like they do something that is kind of wrong, or just like they do a mistake about marketing guidelines, then you have the national board that is making sure that it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's super smart. Like, just to really understand also, like, every different university that has this NFS, how did you guys fund them? How did they get the money to be able to then do their association? Are you allowed to discuss that or not?
About the money, I don't think I'm allowed. But how we started how we started is just like we reached out to people that were interested.
So it was networking.
Yeah, networking, and also like I think it's always a good opportunity to start a new thing in general.
Yeah.
Especially when you know that there is a already established base. You're not going to start from scratch. You have like people around you that know what to do, where to start. Legally speaking, it's a lot of stuff going on. So if you're on your own, it's kind of tough. It's not impossible. You can always make it, of course, but it's kind of tough. But having someone that already knows how the KVK system works, then you're more chill about it.
Of course,
for sure.
And maybe before we just get on to the last part, in terms of collaborations, I know you might not be allowed to say what, but are there certain brands that you could talk about, or at least say the names of what NFS, who have NFS have collaborated with? Yeah. To give maybe some perspective to people.
I can. First of all, our first partner is Hermes.
That's
that's a big one. That's a big
proud of it. And
jeez,
to be honest, if I can something about that is that they're really friendly. And that's really cool to work with them, because you can really learn a lot with them. They have really this family culture around the corporation that is really well established and really appreciable. Then you have we also partner with Under Armour since this year. And it was really cool as well.
But Under Armour, huge.
Yeah. Also, like, they're providing a lot of opportunities for internships. They are having right now their rookie program.
Yeah.
Which is a super cool program for people that want to start an internship in the fashion industry as well.
Wow.
So this is that. Also, like, PVH, so Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger. And among others, we also like worked with Closed, Bestseller, and other brands. But you can see all the brands on our website or Instagram account.
Yeah, of course. All right. Wow, that's crazy. So that's why I love it. Like, at least, I mean, NFS is doing real things. Like, you guys are moving it. To be collaborating with or partnering with different huge corporations like this is, I mean, it's big.
Thanks.
And I think NFS definitely, like, that's why I say the potential is crazy. Like, all it takes, I think, is you keep on doing this. You never know where it could go as an association. Definitely. Because a lot of these times, businesses like these big businesses start as like associations, and you never know it can lead to something bigger.
Yeah.
So
like franchises like this, like that can spread fast. Like
that get a lot of support. That get a lot of support from people.
And actually, I have a question for that. So for someone that would be like really into fashion, that want to like join NFS, but that isn't on the right campus, is there like a way they could start like their own thing or like get into contact with you or?
Definitely. I think like to be honest, like they can still reach out to us. I don't know if the idea is feasible or not based on where the campus is, because you need also to have like the possibility to have an association first.
Of course.
But I think like we're really here to help, and expanding is something I find really cool, and also like it inspires people, you know.
Yeah.
And if someone really wants to, you know, start their own branch, but they cannot join, you know, our campuses, they have multiple opportunities. They can also join us like for events if they want to. Work with us during events as well. And if really like they're really motivated, we can definitely start a branch. But right now I think we are more focusing on establishing the branches that we have.
Yeah.
So I don't know how feasible it would be, but it's still possible. Yeah.
All right. So maybe
I feel like
maybe
someone's
listening out there.
Also,
DM,
like
we'll put his Insta here. DM him, President of NFS. I'll let you know.
There is like Edward, as I said, that is really like in charge of this whole project, and he's really putting the effort in. So
yeah,
he would be interested maybe.
Okay. I feel like a lot of people often, this is in any industry, would want to get into something, but they don't know how to get into things.
Yeah.
So maybe for a more general, even just in general, how does somebody get into fashion? Is there a way to get into fashion, or is it just your connections? Is it,
to be honest, I think
being brave? Like
we are providing the way, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
During our seminars or fashion internship fairs, you get the opportunity to talk face to face to the HR department, like the people from the HR department. And during seminars, it's mostly like intimate. 20 to 50 people at most, meaning that during the break, let's say, you can get the opportunity to talk to them.
Yeah.
And then you never know, maybe you will find an opportunity. And I think it starts with contacts, but also like proving yourself.
Yeah.
You have to really believe in yourself, put the work in, dedication, and
sell yourself. Like you have to sell yourself.
Yeah, and it will be recognized. I think connections are important, but maybe not. Like you can start also with NFS with what we are providing. I don't consider that as connection. It's more like opportunities, networking,
100%.
and I think this is how you start. It's more like also you need also to understand in which area you want to work in. Yeah. Because then you will definitely have companies that are offering this specific internship or this specific job, and if this is something you really want to do in life, then it's a plus because they see that okay, he has done his research. He knows where he wants to go, you know. So
that's true. Like I think the main thing is also you gotta be brave. You gotta you have that brave.
Something I forgot.
Like
I think you
courage.
need to be proactive.
Yeah. That's something. That's a good word.
Yeah,
a good word.
Exactly,
I love that word.
exactly.
I love that word.
To be fair,
start somewhere.
If you go to the networking event in general, I'm not talking about NFS only. It's already a step. But then the next step is being brave enough to talk to these HR managers. And sell yourself and just like, oh, by the way, can I have an address email or just like a LinkedIn? Why not? But then. If they provide it, cool. If they don't, it's fine. You tried. I think it's just like being proactive, understand where the opportunities are, and trying to do your best to grab them.
No, definitely. I mean, there's that it's a famous saying in French, celui qui t'entraîne en rien, gagne rien. You know, like that, which means basically if you don't try, you're not gonna win anything.
Yeah, definitely.
And at the end of the day, that's always what you gotta do. You gotta just try, man. You gotta go for it and
believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Because everyone can, I would say.
Well, yeah. Also, like you could even talk from public experience. You probably might not have ever thought I'm gonna be president of a fashion.
Not,
so you know, so
it
shows.
First year, 17 years old, and I was like, okay, I'm part of this huge association that I don't know a lot about. But throughout the year, I understood that I really wanted to invest the effort in. And I think I really dedicated myself a lot to this association and a lot to this project, and maybe like the old board members saw that in me, you know. And in general, like I think this is the most important thing: where you start and where you are at now, and the progress you made, and the journey and everything. I think this is the most important thing to look at when you want to, you know, join an industry: the progress, the learning, how much effort you're willing to put into the process, because the opportunities they are there. You can find them. You just have to go by yourself and be proactive about it.
No, definitely. I think it's about being proactive. It's like what you said. I think in anything in life in general, even meeting people, like
definitely,
just go up and be yourself.
And if you never know what it's gonna bring.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Like I remember, this is just an example, right? I've seen you 100 times last year. I remember seeing you 100 times. It's only now that we meet, but like we met and now we get along very well.
Definitely,
and it shows that you can't have these things of if you want to meet someone, just go up to them and just talk to them.
Yeah,
you know,
just
it's
talk,
like
yeah.
stupid things.
Take the
like,
opportunity.
100%.
Exactly. And also like
100%.
don't be afraid of saying like I'm gonna make it happen, you know. For me, like that's one of the big points. And
yeah, preach it.
like
preach it.
you know, like we're young and shit, but we can still do some stuff.
Plus,
So it's
like every effort is important, because at the end, like I think what describes really well an association is like you will get as much as you put. So let's say you like really inactive during the year, you don't really pay interest about the thing, then you won't get a lot from being part of this association. But if you're part of the association and you're really dedicated, you put the efforts and you really put the time, and you will get a lot at the end.
No, 100%.
And in terms of opportunities, in terms of experience, in terms of what you learned, and like let's say only for board applications, if you did a lot during the year, us, the board, will see it and we'll give you the opportunity because we saw that in you, you know. So yeah,
man, that's crazy, man. Like I feel like we gotta people just need to believe in themselves more, and then they also just you gotta be surrounded by the right people. I think that helps.
Yeah. And that's also like I think a power of NFS, because everyone that is part of NFS is taking it really seriously, meaning that when you're part of it, you know that you're surrounded by people that
so
are
you can't
really
fuck
interested.
up.
You can't fuck up, exactly.
Like,
you have to put
up.
yourself out there, you know.
100%, yeah.
And you have to differentiate yourself as well, you know. So I think at the end it's just like, as you said, like having the right people,
Mindset,
the ambition, believing in yourself, and you can. If I made it, everyone can make it. You know,
100%, 100%.
That's for sure.
No, that's true. It's true. I think anyone can. It's just a belief thing.
Definitely.
But is there another question more about the community?
We've gone
through a lot, man.
A lot.
No, we had a great conversation.
Really nice interview for sure.
Because when's the next fashion show?
Basically, the next fashion show is going to be on the 24th of May, so in 2 weeks.
Okay.
The tickets are going to be released really soon. Plus, we have also a fashion week before that. So if you're more interested about business, then you have the fashion week that is really made for you. A lot of talented people that are going to come, and a lot of speakers. And then you have the fashion show if you just want to, you know, have a good time and enjoy a really good show.
Okay, we'll be there.
That's great.
I hope so.
Do you have any advice for the community?
Yeah, last final words.
I actually do. As I said, you know, like I started like a normal student.
Yeah.
No skills, I would say. Just like I believed in myself.
Yeah.
And I think I really put the effort in. And I think also like I really loved what I was doing, and I still love what I am doing right now. And it really made a difference because I saw that people started to believe in me, you know, and they were like, why not applying for president? You could make it. And I was like, no, never. I don't have the skills, you know. But at one point, I started believing in myself, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let's try it out. And this very moment, I understood like, okay, I'm going to do great things for the future just because I decided to, you know. And I think everyone inside of them have their own skills that they can put into practice, and they can make whatever they want to in their life, you know. So I think that would be my advice for the community.
Wow. All right.
I mean, I feel like that's perfectly said. I gotta clip that part. It was like a little monologue. Yeah, my creative director is nodding, of course. But no, we had a great podcast. This is Tristan, of course, everyone from NFS, President. You can find his socials somewhere. Do the little thing, Paul. You love his socials up there somewhere on the screen. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, creative director Danny backstage. Thank you, Tristan.
Thank you,
See you soon, guys. Bye.
See you guys.
Preach.